Bubble photography is a great way to create otherworldly effects in your photographs. It's totally abstract and very colourful, and good fun to do as well. It's a little bit more complicated than your average trick or creative photography project, but it's not that difficult if you follow these instructions. So the first thing we need to do is to set up our bubble mixture. You can't just use regular home soap, it's too thick, but you can't just add water, it will be too thin. You need a special recipe using glycerin. So most of what you'll need for this is going to be at home. You might not have glycerin. It's very cheap. You can pick it up at most places and certainly on Amazon as well. So the recipe is, you want about half a cup of water. This is maybe a little bit, this is maybe a cup here. So I'm going to put half of this in. And then you want to take 2 tablespoons of soap. Now I picked up this soap. This was just one of the cheapest soaps they had in the supermarket. It doesn't need to be particularly special. We did try this previously with body wash and it didn't work. So make sure you buy soap. The color of the soap mixture is not important. It will be pretty much completely transparent when the bubble is blown up. You don't need to concern yourself too much. I would say move away from using bubble mixture that is it's going to be not transparent. So this is, if you have a look at it, if I pull this out, you can see it's a little bit green, but you can see through it. Some of the cloudy soap mixture probably won't work as well. I would try and use something translucent or transparent. So I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of the soap mixture, and this isn't an exact science. So that's 1. Two tablespoons of the soap, and then you want 2 tablespoons of glycerin as well. Initially we only added 1, but we found that the bubbles weren't staying up for long enough. A bubble will stay for up to about 5 minutes if you have the right amount of glycerin and the right shooting conditions. Colder shooting conditions will ensure that the bubbles stay around longer, but obviously that's not always something you're in control of. So my experience is adding a bit more glycerin is a good idea. And if you do create your bubble mixture and you find that it doesn't quite stay the way you'd like it to, it's not staying up for long enough, you can go back and add another tablespoon of glycerin. Now that you've created the bubble mixture, it's important that you leave it to stay overnight. This is going to allow it to thicken slightly and the glycerin, soap and water will mix together. And in true TV trope fashion, here's one I made earlier. So we did a few of these last night and this is one of them. And then when you're ready, you just want to take a straw and put it in any container really. I would say perhaps 5 inches, 6 inches across, because the wider it is, the bigger your bubble can get. If you've got a really small container, you're only going to get a bubble of around, maybe 30% wider than the diameter of the rim of your dish will be the diameter of the bubble. So you need to bear that in mind. I like to have a big bubble when I do this, so I'm using a bigger dish. So this is maybe 5 inches or so. And then all you need to do is you need to take a straw like this and blow into it. Be very careful, don't blow quickly or you're going to get lots of little bubbles that are going to be really difficult to get rid of. Blow very slowly and take a deep breath before you start, because it can take a fair bit of oxygen. Expect it to pop a few times, but when you do find a little bubble on the dish, go ahead and you can stick your straw into that and then blow and it will inflate that bubble. They're not as sensitive as a regular bubble now that they've got glycerin mixed into them. It's best to leave the dish on something steady. You can blow into it and then you can move it into position. It will stay quite well and it should stay for up to about 5 minutes once this is done. Then you want to move it over to your set where you're going to have all of your lighting set up and ready to go. And what you can do is you can leave this dish in position, and then whenever the bubble goes out, you can just go back in and inflate another one. And if you're careful, you can actually add more air to one if you don't think it's big enough. looks like that. This is our bubble photography setup. Now don't be intimidated, I know it looks like a lot of equipment, but really it's quite simple. It's just going to be a camera, a flash, a diffuser and a stand, and then obviously the bubble mixture on some platform here. You don't even need this tripod if you don't want. I'm just using it to make my life a little bit easier while I film. So let's start with the flash. This is just a cheap Chinese flash unit. I think it's about $60 or $70, and the remote for it, which is about $40 or $50. It will fire wirelessly, but you don't even need this. You could run a wire from here to the flash unit to take the photograph. That would be okay too. We also have an octagon light box. You'll notice this folds up like an umbrella. Inside here we have a reflective material, and then we're going to put a white diffuser in here so it all comes off as if it's one light. We also have a boom stand. Now this is actually, I bought two of these. I bought the second one by mistake, but I love them. They're so useful because they allow you to go high and out at different angles, and we're actually using one here for the microphone. It allows us to get in all sorts of different situations. So this I think was about $80 or so. It's proven to be very useful, but again, you don't need all of this setup if you don't want. You could just have a flash plugged into your camera, so you don't need it to be wireless, and you could probably even use window light if you wanted to. If you put a diffuser by a window, you probably do a decent enough job. But we're using a softbox here because it's going to get us the best possible results, and more importantly, the most consistent results. So this is our setup for the lighting, and then I've got our setup down here on this sort of stool that bends out, and we've got the bubble mixture in this tray, and you'll notice the camera isn't quite level with the tray. It's going to be level with towards the top of where the bubble is going to be. So when I inflate this bubble, it's going to be maybe around up here, and we're going to bring this softbox down so it's 2 or 3 inches above this bubble. That's going to be very important because that's where we're going to start to get the best diffusion of light. It's going to completely surround it, and you'll notice as we take more and more photos that that's going to be very important. So I'm going to bend this down now. Before I bend this diffuser down so it's above the bubble, what I need to do is add a diffuser screen to the front of it. Now this is the one that came with the camera. As you can see, it's not being ironed. It's still a little bit crinkly, and that's actually going to show up in the reflections of your bubble. That's not so much of a problem, but it's something to bear in mind if you don't want that look. What we can do instead is we can use a diffuser disc. If you have anything, even like a thin white sheet would work well. I'm going to use this for now though, and if we're not happy, we can change it later. And now that's on, I can bring this down. So it's just at the height of our camera and a few inches above where the bubble is going to go. When it comes to inflating the bubble, you can get in here and blow it up, or you can take the tray out, blow up the bubble and put it in. I prefer taking the tray out myself. Now that we have the bubble set up, let's talk about the camera settings. I'm using the Canon EOS 1300D here with an 18 to 55mm lens. I'm zooming all the way in to 55mm, and the reason I'm doing that is because I just want to focus on the bubble. I want nothing else around it, just the bubble. And the camera settings I'm using is going to be aperture of f/22, ISO of 100, and a shutter speed of 1/160th of a second. Now, these may seem like unusual camera settings to use if you're inexperienced with flash photography. The reason I've chosen these camera settings is because I want to remove all ambient light. So the way you do this is you take a photo without a flash firing, and you set your aperture so that it's very, very narrow, your ISO really low, and then the shutter speed of around 1/100th of a second, and you move from there. The reason we do this is because we only want the light to come from our flash. By setting our camera up to remove ambient light, we can ensure that that is in fact the case. It's important to watch though for your shutter sync speed. So you may have heard of sync speed before. It is the fastest your shutter can take a photo while using a flash. So I won't go into too much detail, but when you take a photo, The mirror locks up if you're using an SLR, and then two curtains open. One curtain goes up, it records the light, and the second curtain goes up afterwards. And that's how you take a photograph. However, when you're taking a photograph with a flash, by the time the flash is fired, that second curtain may be halfway up already. So you're not actually going to record any of that light from the flash on that part of the photograph. So if you end up taking photos and you see that part of your photos have a black bar across it, it's because your shutter speed is too fast. So I've set my camera up here to 1/160th of a second, and now I'm ready to take a photograph. You'll notice that I blew up the bubble at the beginning of the video, and then I waited, gave you this whole presentation, and now I'm gonna go take a photograph. The reason for that is because when you leave a bubble inflated for longer, it starts to get much more interesting. When you initially take the photo, you'll see that it's very colorful, but the colors are uniform. When you want to have that otherworldly planet look to it, like there's storms inside the bubble, you need to give it a little moment, a couple minutes, it'll move around and you'll start to get that desired effect. So I'm going to take a test photo here. And I can see here that we get the whole of the top of the dome of this bubble. We're not actually trying to capture the underside of it. We're not going to capture the tray that the bubble mixture's in. It's just going to be the top of this. So I'm going to pop this bubble now, and I'm going to take some more photos so we can see how the light changes and the color changes on this bubble as the photography progresses and time passes. You'll see it's quite a big difference. So that looks okay for now, but it's a little bit boring. You can see this rainbow pattern forming on the top of the bubble. And as I take photos, you'll see that it moves. What you're waiting for is for it to lose its uniformity. And I can see they're starting to break up here. That looks awesome. And this is where you want to start taking photos fast because the colors are running. Wow, it gets more and more interesting every single shot. So we've kind of got rainbow colors and they're mixing in between. And I think that's the most interesting photos done. After a while, it starts to become less interesting. So I pop the bubble and I start again. Now, one thing I'm seeing is I'm starting to see the shape of this octagon because we are using a light box, which typically works pretty well for most photography, but you might be better off using a rectangular one. So we're starting to see the shape of this octagon, and we're also starting to see some of the shape of this beam. It's because a lot of soft boxes that you'll get will bring in the light in the back, and then they'll have a uniform shape on the front. This is not perfect for this. It's good. This soft box, I think, was only about 30 bucks or something. But instead, what I think we're going to do, just for the best results, we're going to take a diffuser, another one, and we're going to put it over the front of this here and replace the one that's currently here. So let's give that a go. So now we have a photography assistant holding this diffuser. We have another bubble that's been up there for about a minute, and any moment now it's going to start to make those fantastic, interesting movements. I can see the multi-colors are moving around. This is looking perfect. This might be our best one yet. The great thing about bubble photography is you really don't need to do any processing. If you set your photography up right, you don't need to edit out anyone, you don't need to adjust any colors. The colors will be there and they're already very vibrant, so you don't need to change that either. Yeah, they're starting to move very quickly now. Almost looks like another planet. Starting to see some purple come over the top as well. That's bubble photography. As you can see, preparation is key to this. We don't need to do any post-production now because we've set everything up perfectly. We took the time the night before to set up the glycerin, soap and water, and we've blown the bubbles and we've waited for the right time to take the photographs, and everything has fallen into place. This should really take no longer than a couple of hours if you don't want it to. But you can, honestly, you can spend all day playing with these bubbles because they're like snowflakes. No two bubbles will ever be exactly the same. The colors are always changing in different ways, the shapes are different, and we've got some really impressive results. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out the links in the description below. This video was an excerpt from my course Wow Factor Photography, my creative photography course. If you like creative photography, then you'll love this course, so go ahead and check it out. And please, if you like this type of photography, consider subscribing. We're releasing new video content every Monday at 12 PM London time, so you can see more videos just like this if you hit subscribe below. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.